that took an hour. Uh, we do have a tier list to do, but it is literally only 14 cards. It's the Jumpstart 2 ones, if you want to look them up.
Oh yeah, let me pull those up.
Now, I did learn, and I'm probably just stupid, but you can look on EDH Rec by sets. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh. Hi.
Well, I didn't know. Like, I knew that there was sets on EDH Rec, but I didn't know that it like showed only the commanders.
Whoa, this first one's expensive.
Like the money wise, you mean?
Yeah, it's almost $30. It's like $25 for this first one.
What is it?
It's Lita Mechanical Engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 mana, 3/3 with Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact creature you control. That's pretty good. For 4 mana tap, you get a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact token named Zeppelin with flying and crew 3. Oh, this is a vehicle deck.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to
But
untap.
Derek, no, that first line just means it's broken in all the older decks. Like Shurikai's really popular right now. The draw guy. And this is busted in that, because the first line is at the beginning of each end step, untap each other artifact. What is it?
Oh, it's the beginning of each end
Yeah,
step.
it's the top line. It's a
It's
legendary,
untap each.
yeah, which means that artifact shenanigans, like, oh, just like draw a card and, I don't know, like do a billion things. Which Shurikai.
Or you play like Steel Overseer and Platinum Mirror and
Yeah, because we play that other white one that isn't legendary, that doesn't make 5/5s. What's that white one called that we played that just untaps all the artifact creatures? There's like a 3-drop white drop that we play that does that. I can't remember the name.
I don't remember either.
Well, it exists, believe us. As a commander, though, in mono white, what are you really doing here?
Well, to be fair, mono white artifacts have gotten really good with like shenanigans with ever since they built whatever that dude's is, the birthing pod dude.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten a lot more
Fiddle
stuff.
Biddle? But we're talking just this pure as a commander, not in the 99. Pure.
You're playing a fun vehicle artifact deck, and people like vehicles, but there's still some good artifact stuff you could run.
Yeah, like things that probably let you draw when you're tapping, and like
you can also just play
the Halo Fountain. That's kind of cool.
You can also play just like a white artifact beatdown deck because they have like the tempered steel. So you just play like big artifact creatures and like things to buff them up, swing, and then you get to untap all of it.
Seems like a B to me.
Yeah.
I'm feeling B. As a card, it's like an S or A. But as a commander by itself, it feels like a B to me. Now this commander, on the other hand...
Put them up there, we already know.
Okay, talk about it though, go ahead.
It's basically double blink, you get tokens. If you have a way to make more than one tokens with like copying effects.
Do you want to say
like,
the name?
Preston the Vanisher.
There you go.
Whenever another non-token creature enters your control, if it wasn't whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 0-white illusion.
Bottom line?
Illusions, exile target non-land permanent.
Why did they give it that too? Do you know how easy it is to blink things in white? You know the loops for this commander, right?
There's a bazillion of them. It's ETB. Blink has a bazillion of them.
But like even just Felidar Guardian on its own, because it can just target its copy, so it just keeps blinking itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a 6-drop Angel that got reprinted in this deck. There's an infinite in the pack, Derek. So you know how Jumpstart works, right? They're all packs. You mix 2 together. You make a 40-card deck and you play, right?
Yeah.
In the 20-card pack that comes with this, that Angel is printed. So there's an infinite with this commander in the pack. It's hilarious. All right, so now we got, looks like a Merfolk. What does this one do?
That's actually, it is a Merfolk, but it's Alondra the Sky Dreamer. Which is whenever you draw your second card each turn, you make a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying.
Okay.
Then whenever you draw your 5th card each turn, her and Drakes you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So if you draw 5 cards, that means your 2/2 Drakes are now 7/7 Drakes at minimum. If you have only 5 cards in your hand, if you're
Eric,
playing blue Shananes,
I found the new tribal draw commander.
yeah, that's another really good one.
It kills people easier.
Yeah, because instead of making like spirits that like go back there, you make 2/2 flying Drakes.
I'd say that it does it only. It just says period whenever you draw your second card each turn, right? Does
Yep.
it say you're on your turn
Nope.
or anything?
It's during your opponent's turns too.
Both effects?
Yep.
I think it's an A.
So even off your turn, you could be like, okay, I'm going to Blue Sun, draw 5 cards, and now an army Drakes that are too huge for you to swing through.
Yeah, blue is really good at drawing. I think it's an A. Easy.
Yeah,
A.
I'd stick her in an A.
Wait, what's the mana? Wait, what's the mana cost?
She's a 4-drop. She's
Yeah,
literally
that's
the same.
still an A.
So funny thing is, I actually picked her up. I ordered her for Talran because like I make a lot of Drakes, and she's like the way to close off the game.
Oh yeah, because she pumps Drake. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and I draw a lot of cards that deck too, because I still just have generic ridiculous draw.
Yeah, you can just play a Blue Sun Zenith and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, I have that and a bunch of other things.
What is this adorable looking fucking thing?
So this is Insu the Abominable. He's 5 mana for a 5/5. You may look at the top part of your library anytime. You may play snow lands and cast snow spells from the top of your library. Then, whenever another snow permanent enters a battlefield under your control, you can play Bant. If you do, put a +1 counter on Insu the Abominable.
So it's Bant snow stuff?
Yeah, it's Bant snow.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. But the thing is, I don't think there's any like just I automatically win with snow because I have snow.
We saw it. Arkham's Astroglabe's banned in every format for a reason, Derek. It clearly has to be good in Commander.
Yeah, true. Let me draw a card.
I mean, and you know, he gets a 1/1 count or whatever. I mean, don't make it sound like it's bad, you know.
Well, if you pay a mana.
I mean, you know, semantics.
It's still like you're still limited to playing all the snow things, and like you're not playing like an aggressive format where like you could really control the game with just playing like an Ice Fang, Codal, and Shananes and like on Thin Ice. Like you have to do more, and I think it's just a fun flavor win deck. As much as I love it.
So where it would have been better is if it gave other things snow,
or if it said put a +1 counter on each creature you control.
Or yeah. It would have been cool if it's just like everything's got snow, you know? Because it's bringing it home with it. But as it stands, I'd say C.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree.
It's not complete and total garbage, but
no,
yeah, it's not like unplayable, right?
All right, take our boy and make a new class above S called Water Boys and stick them in it.
Why? What does this one do again?
This is the sea monster. If you would scry
right.
a number of cards, scry that many cards +1 instead, and then 4 mana, look at the top of your library if it's a sea monster, put it in the battlefield. If you don't put the card in the battlefield, you may put it on the bottom of your library.
You think this is S?
No.
Okay.
I think it's above S.
It's like it's double S for super C monsters.
Yeah. No, in all honesty, it's probably like a B.
I would say B, Derek. Come on. It's definitely an A. It's green, bro. We play tested it. You get Hullbreaker cracking in for free, and you can control what goes on top with tutors. It's definitely an A.
Okay.
I think green-blue decks with big monsters and getting to cheat them in, and you could still draw because there's cards that let it happen on ECB. Like, that's really good. When we were playtesting it, we were surprised how easy it is to use her effect to put things in. Especially with Scroll Rack being as cheap as it is now. So, like, it makes it so that you can just have Scroll Rack. I mean, it's very easy to tutor those creatures to the top and tutor Scroll Rack out, or whichever way you want to manipulate the top. Actually, Sensei's top is a lowered price now, too, which is another selling point for this, so.
True.
I'd say it's A. Like, yeah.
I know we built it and played it. It's still just only as good as Kraken's could be. So I guess it has its moments. Anyway.
But this is better than, it's more than just Kraken's. It's got,
Yeah.
It's got more
Anyway,
options. Yeah.
the next dude, Ash Code of the Shadow Swarm. So he's format 3/4 Rat Warlock.
Mhm.
Whenever he attacks or blocks, other rats you control get plus
Oh,
X
it's
for a
this one.
turn where X is the number of rats you control. At the beginning of your
Awesome.
end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to rat creatures from your graveyard to your hand.
It's awesome. I love it.
That's he's $50.
Yeah, and he's powerful. Because here's the thing: everybody's tired of Marinar. They wanted something new.
Yeah, let's get. And I actually like this because it actually gives them a butt. That's the one issue with a lot of like the pack rat decks.
Hmm.
Pack rat, the other rat decks, is because they get +1/+0. So
Hmm.
you're relying on your commander to make enough to swarm over. This lets you actually kill people with your rat.
Also, you get recursion. You
Yep,
get some like standability.
it digs for rats.
Yeah, you can still play Marinar in the deck if you want, because now you can
Hmm.
reanimate certain things, and it gives them fear. What is it? Fear? Is it fear?
Yeah, Maridar gives him fear.
Yeah. So, you know, I consider this. So Marinar combos easier, but is a little bit more like way less resilient to removal, right? This plays way better in the long game, because like getting that reanimation every turn is great. That means you can use the rats for things, like play attrition and have everybody hate you. Like, there's a bunch of cards that you could be playing now, like Skull Clamp. You don't have to be sad about losing a rat every fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I think this is great, and we know that some of the rats are good. I don't know if it's A good, you know? Maybe it's a B. What do you think?
I don't know. Rats can be really good, and I think this might be able to push part of it a little bit over the top.
What are you thinking?
Um, Either low A or high B. It's going to do a lot of work for the rat decks. It's going to make them really resilient in getting the 2 rat. Because the thing is, you could get your best rat cards back every turn.
I'm gonna say it's an A. There's a lot of good rats. I mean, people would be surprised. Like, but because the upside is like you could play any rats you want, and the commander's making them better. Like he's doing all the work, and then letting you sack them and do like cool effects. Like in these color, like black is really good at having payoffs for things dying. So, all right,
Now, this next die is Rodolph Duskbringer. So he's 6 mana for a 4/4 with flying, death touch, and lifelink. So he's literally Vampire Dickhawk with
mhm,
bonuses. He's also a Vampire Angel, which is kind of cool.
that is cool.
Whenever you gain life, he gains indestructible to the end of the turn.
Mhm.
Pretty good. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 mana. When you do, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. So it's a 2 mana reanimate for any life you've gained this turn. And he's already generically a 4/4 with lifelink, so even on his own, he could just be I gain 4 life.
And you're an Orzhov?
Yeah.
Seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think that's really solid. Like it's a nifty it's like kind of fusing 2 different archetypes together, which is Orzhov like reanimation and lifelink. But
Mhm.
like there's so many really good things. Like life getting a lot of life is kind of stupid easy.
Mhm. What do you think?
And
A or
and
B?
also you know, I think he's actually still pretty good. Like I think he's going to be really annoyingly resilient. It's going to be really hard to kill him, especially if you play like just like you play a Soul Sister, right? Anybody plays a creature, and now like you gain life, he's indestructible.
Mhm.
It's just whenever you gain life.
That's a really good line of text.
Hmm.
So what are you thinking?
I actually think he might fall into A as well.
I could see
You
it.
get because it's only 2 mana to reanimate something.
Also, Orzhov combos really easily, so this is also like a good resilient way to make sure that that happens.
Hmm.
Like a Buried Alive, you could probably win somehow. Hit
Probably.
someone, gain life, bring back Carbon Guy, do the stupid, do the thing.
Oh wait, Tom. It's also looks at its mana. You know what's really? Oh, Tom. I play a Soul Sister. I play a creature. I gain 1 life. At the end of my turn, I'll play 2 mana and reanimate Sarah Ascendant because it's a 1 drop.
Seems good. All right,
Yep.
what's
So next we have this is Ardaz Cobbler of War. He's a 2-mana 1/1 with haste. Whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 to the end of the turn. And so for 4 mana, you get a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste, and you'll activate only as a sorcery. So it buffs Hasty Boys. It feels like it wants to be in the main board of the goblin deck and not
Yeah,
the commander.
but
This might.
I'd still probably put it B because goblins are,
But as a commander,
So it has combos though because it's making a 1/1 for 4, which means it can do things.
it does.
Uh,
They are hasty goblin tokens too.
yeah. So he definitely has infinites, which is an upside. So I'd probably put him B because he's probably not the best goblin commander that we've had.
Not the best, but
What do you think, B?
I still think I actually might stick it in C.
Really?
Yeah, because I think what makes goblins good are the goblins as a commander. It's just maybe it's just for me it just seems okay. Like so many other goblins, I feel like just do so much more.
Okay.
It's literally just an ogre battle driver that that's literally what ogre battle driver does. And like we don't even run ogre battle driver, and a lot of and like goblins wouldn't really run it because it's like I don't really care about the 2/1. I just want to win.
But it's the making the tokens that I think puts it in B for me.
But like so many goblins do it just from them entering. But I guess if you do have your way to make infinite mana,
Yeah.
but it also only makes one
And
4 mana for one.
Oh, it only makes one?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I can stay there.
Okay. Yeah. So next, this is Annie Blight, Bad Influence, 3 mana 2/2 Devil Advisor with flying. Whenever a source you control deals damage to you, put that many +1 counters on. Whenever a source you control deals damage to you, put that many +1 counters on Anti-Blight Bad Influence. And then for 2 mana, tap, remove X +1 counters from her, and it deals X damage to any target. So you can just play like a lot of things that like deal damage to you, like play like mana barbs and whatnot, or like pyrohemia, or just things that do combat or damage to everybody.
Sure.
She'll get that many counters, and eventually you just like one shot somebody. I guess that's her idea.
How do you
It
feel
seems
about it?
she seems just okay.
What's the color? Is she just red?
Yeah. So the one thing is you lose all your counters when she does the damage.
I think it would have been better if it was black too.
Also, so like you get you get her. So I guess there's also a variant where like maybe you don't kill somebody with the counters and you just swing her as like a massive like 13/13 creature.
Meh.
But then if you attack, you can't because her ability to remove the counters is a tap ability. So I don't know. I'm not feeling her. I feel like it could be cool, and there probably is some shenanigans with her to like one shot a person.
C or B.
I would say C.
I agree.
Maybe, but I think even yeah, I know top is C. I still think she still has potential. Anyway, next is Mixis Replicator Rider. 5 mana 4/5 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may pay 2. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent.
What the fuck?
So it's a 2. So you basically have it's only if you cast something not from your hand. So top of the library, from exile,
That's pretty cool though.
your commander.
You could definitely do some stuff with that.
Yeah, it does. Its limitation by saying anywhere other than Cascade is a really good one.
Right, but we're only in red, so like, guess we could use like outpost siege effects, like a
Yeah, that's what
Tolly.
I'm saying. That's another thing that you could do a lot, like expressive
So
iteration. Like
this this is definitely doable. Jessica's
and
will.
honestly, we also have like now we have reality chip and one with the multiverse. We have a lot of new ways to play stuff off the top.
Yeah, I think this is easily a B. There's like Apex of Power. Like there's actually a lot that you could do, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I think it's a B. Getting to
yeah,
copy them, I mean, makes it really good, you know?
yeah. I think that's a fair amount.
Mhm.
That's a fair call.
What is this thing? Looking for
Uh,
Is that a banana or like a cat?
oh yeah,
What is it?
that's the monkey Kibo.
Oh, Mike's commander.
Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana with sacrifice this artifact, add red or green, and gain 2 life. Whenever an artifact the opponent controls is put into the graveyard from anywhere, put a +1 counter on each creature you control that's an monkey. Whenever it attacks, defending player sacrifices an artifact.
Derek, this commander is actually insane. I don't know if you've seen it get played, but people do a lot of artifact sacking in our current meta.
You know what's funny? I played against Mike's version twice, and both times it underperformed really badly at the table. And I'm like, I feel like this could do so much more. Like, I'm looking at all the things, and I'm like, this feels like it could do so much more. But he just ended up getting cut like both games.
And being green-red, like you have all the draw, they get fucking massive. The 5 games that I played with it, it was overperforming. I killed everybody on like turn 8 with an overwhelming stampede, which is busted in this deck. Also, you're giving them the fuel to make everything. Remember, every time they sack one, it's a +1 on all your monkeys. It's really good. Also, Mike played food chain combos. I think it's really good.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Like, also, you could play mass board wipes that blow up all the artifacts and enchantments. And there's a lot of them in those 2 colors. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we just got one printed. That's the bear one. It destroys all artifact enchantments that each player controls, and they only make a 2/2 bear. And then that triggers this every single one that gets destroyed. Also, there's that new monkey that it's very easy to tutor creatures in these colors, that every time you cast a creature spell, you get to pop an artifact or enchantment. Which you're giving them food to pop. Or you're giving them the bananas. The only downside is the life gain, but you mitigate that by them getting fucking huge.
Oh, banana.
And like, a lot of the monkeys aren't like total garbage, you know?
Yeah. Also, we did get that new one, the Silverback Elder.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about that pops artifacts and enchantments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So yeah, I think it's definitely a solid A, like top A, maybe low S.
I'd say the is it better than the Sea Folk deck? It's a little bit more streamlined than this. It goes faster than this.
Well, see, I think
This is probably what's up?
I think it's because what it does, it deals with artifacts. And artifacts are a key of the game. It's just like that's a super type as compared to, and then it also is also a tribal deck.
And there's so many ways to pop artifacts and enchantments in these colors. Like, you get Bane of Progress, like there, and he never had Bane of Progress in his list. He just couldn't find one. You play a Bane of Progress, do you know how big everything is? Like, it's massive.
I mean, there is a part where like it's unfortunate when like if you give them the banana, but like.
But it's fine, because it's just life gain in 1 mana, and then you're mitigating it by the fact that your shit gets huge. And remember, you're going to draw every time you play a monkey because you're in green. I don't think it's S. I don't think it's S. But it's probably the top of A. It's very strong. Like, the one game I played, Derek, I was playing against Ishin, and the guy had 2 creatures that made treasures. People play treasures up the ass. People play Smothering Tithe a lot. People play Dockside a lot. You know? You're going to get a lot more free value than, like, you just see it at, like, face value, you know? Also, certain commanders, like, let's say I'm playing against your Urza deck, you're just going to give me free value. Just by playing your commander. You know, sacking an egg off, or like, you know, like if you don't just win by what you're doing, or like Mike made Jan Jensen or whatever, the one that you sack and you make 2, you know, you sack a non-token to make like 2 1/1 creatures, and then you sack a creature to make treasures. Like, those kind of commanders, this one just gets free value out of. I think it's really good. Also, it makes Rishkar's Return of the Wild Speaker and stuff like that really good, because they get huge. Like, there was a time I had a Torn Mauler that was a 24/24. Massive. All right,
Dummy thick.
what's this guy?
So that one is um, Rudai Behemoth Caller. So 3 mana, 1/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 5 or greater, that creature enters the battlefield with X additional +1 counter on it, where X is its mana value -4. Creatures you control with 3 or more +1 counters on them have haste, and you tap to make a green mana
This
with
is
them.
so good in +1 counter deck. I could see this as a commander.
Yo, because imagine like you just play like what is what's the Gishath or Galta.
Volta.
It technically has a CMC 5 or greater, and then you give it a bunch of counters -4 equal. So what's it? It's usually a 12 drop or
Play
something.
a World Spine Worm.
And then it gives us 3 more counters on it. It has haste.
What about using this as like an Eldrazi deck or something?
Yeah, let's say well you play the one Emrakul that takes an extra turn, but it gets haste the turn it comes in.
Gross.
That'd be doing some things.
And
it's big dumb creature stompy, and we know that's just good.
You think?
Yeah, imagine playing Apex Devastator.
The draw is just really like it's so easy to draw and do stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What is this one?
Then the next one is let me find. So this is Zask Skittering Swarm. So it's a 5 mana 5/5. May pay lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, put it at the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. And then for 2 mana, with black in it, it's hybrid Jaldari. Target insect gets +1/+0 and gains death touch until the end of the turn.
Are there really enough good insects?
Surprisingly, yes. Insects have actually kind of always been a thing, but like you look at like Gist as an insect, cost a caterpillar, Scoot Swarm, Hornet Queen, Hornet Nest, Scoot Mob, Giant
Adaphage.
There it is. Yep. And Ant Queen's kind of nifty. I mean, we don't have a ton. Thousand Eye is only 1,000 Eyes and makes a bunch of insects. Crash of Rhino Beetles, and then Tuco Husk, because then Tuco is a zombie insect. So there's a decent amount. We also have Blex, the Vexing Pest, which he's technically not an insect, but buffs insects.
B? Thinking B?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a fun insect build. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to make bugs and bugs and bugs and bugs. So this last one is Agris Cost, Eternal Soldier. So he's 4 mana for 3/4 with Vigilance. Whenever he's a Spirit Soldier, whenever he becomes a target of an ability that targets only it, you could play Hybrid Boros in 1. If you do, copy that ability for each other creature you control.
Oh.
That ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures.
Oh.
So it's like another was it Zada?
Zada,
the Hedron Grinder.
Oh, that's so good, and it's in white. Oh my god, there's so many cards that draw.
Well, yeah, it's Boros. So like.
Oh, that's an A for me. Oh my god, that's insane. The only problem with Zada was there's only 5 cards that drew in red. This is white. There's a lot of white cards that target and draw, and you only have to pay 2. Sure, Zada's free, but I pay white.
Tom, it doesn't say spell. It says become the target of an ability.
Wait, so that's like Planeswalkers too? Yeah, so like you can like play Elishnorn, the one that gives +3/+3 and flying, and just target everything.
Or you play Mother of Runes, and now everything gets protection. Or you play something like Duke Ulvar Redguard, which gives a target creature Myriad, so all your creatures get Myriad.
Do you
or
think
you play Lunar Aspire. No, because remember, it has to be. It can't be casted from your hand, so it has to be like off the top or exiled.
Doesn't that feel really easy with red though?
Not as easy to think. It's a lot of commitment to do it instead of just casting it.
Okay.
And then you have to pay mana to copy as well, so it's not even a free.
So yeah, this thing. This is crazy.
So I forgot, it's not spells, it's abilities.
Wait, so it's not spells?
No, it's only abilities, but we think it's something that's like
abilities.
But then I'm looking at like, okay, we have like Jaxus the Troublemaker. Target, you make a token of another target creature, and so it makes a target of all of them. You have something like Luminar Gas Pirate. It gets +1/+1, so you give a +1 counter on every one of your creatures. You run Basri Kent, put a +1 counter on one target creature, and it gains indestructible at the end of the turn. Well, now they all get it.
Losing the spell thing. Hmm.
But I think abilities are just really good too. Something like Mentor, if you mentor something, everybody gets it.
Right, but now we're going from drawing a billion cards to just making everything bigger, and now we're in white, and red, and have that problem.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
I guess.
because if it was like, oh, I play a 1 mana +1/+0 and draw a card, and now I draw 9 cards, we'd be talking. But I guess I'd have to look into which ones let you draw as abilities. I'm gonna imagine there's almost none.
I don't think there is either. There might be attacking and exiling the top. I mean, there's. I guess you just have to play a lot of attack off the top things.
It's a B for me now. I think it's a B. If we're just attacking in red and white, this is
Well, I mean,
regular
not just
territory. I'd
attacking,
rather
but
I'd
like,
rather just play Feather at that point.
but Feather only targets itself. But like, you could play a Mother of Runes, and now your stuff literally is like globally protected every turn.
I know, but it's not like Mother Ruse is unbeatable. Like, just one board wipe and
True.
call it a day. Like, as long
Yeah,
as it's
that's
not a red
true.
board wipe.
But then also like you get to run things that like targets
And it
like
is a
the.
one-time thing, so like you can use your mother and then they kill it before your turn comes, and now you just don't have your mother.
I guess. I guess it's a little bit weaker. I still think there's a lot of nifty things you can do.
I just think
And
it's a strong, fun B. Because now we're just pumping and using abilities, and I can't think of a single one that is like card advantage good.
yeah, but I don't think card advantages just automatically makes a
Like,
deck
how does
the
it work with
best.
equipment?
Um,
Or like an aura, I guess.
it would have to be an ability. Well, those it had to be an ability.
Like, I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
It's something we never really think about because like usually we have one targeted things or like with abilities like okay that's cool, but we never really had to think about like what if like we had like a copy and ability that would copy for everything that we had.
Mhm.
So it probably would have to look at Marshall Coop is the card you're thinking of before by the way.
Marshall Coop. Yes.
So we probably have to like think about it a bit more.
But I'm putting it. I think it's a solid B for right now.
Yeah,
Probably
okay.
better than both of these, and like
But
lands around here where it like could be a potential A if we see like more broken shit. Like if stuff comes out and we see what people are doing with these, like then I might change my opinion on it. But these are like the most solid A's for me, 100%. And this is without a doubt an S tier commander. I don't want to hear anything about it.
mhm.
It's so good. Removal, making it so that you double up on fucking on triggers, like it's so fucking good. Goes infinite with the blinkers, like it is very powerful. And there's all kinds of good removal in white for ETB stuff. But on that notion, I want to at least get to the deck request, which is this boy.
Oh, Yorion. Okay. Okay.
I know we
Okay.
built a blink commander last week, but